Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk to you about one of the more interesting styles of faux piercing jewelry out there that has recently been rising again in popularity and is also one of the most dangerous styles of faux piercing jewelry out there. Today we're talking about magnetic fake piercings. Now, not everyone can commit to getting a body piercing. Maybe you can't have it for school or work or with family. Maybe you're just not sure you're going to like how it looks on you. For whatever the reason, for hundreds, if not thousands of years, people have been coming up with styles of jewelry that fake having piercings, and they're pretty effective. We see fake versions of earrings and nose rings dating back, again, literally hundreds of years. And throughout all of these variations and all of these different ways to give you the look of a cute septum ring or earring or lip ring, the worst one yet has to be magnetic fake piercings. These work exactly as you might imagine. There are two magnets and one or both pieces have a decorative element that looks like body jewelry, and you position those two magnets around the part of your body you want to look pierced, and the force of the magnets pulls through your skin and holds them in place. You might have seen these magnetic septum rings that I get ads for constantly on my TikTok For You page, fake plugs or gauges for stretched ears, or even these fake magnetic tongue rings. And that is really why I wanted to make this video, because these have been popular and around for long enough that we know just how dangerous and just how unsafe they are, and it is breaking my heart to see them getting popular again. Now, when we're talking about the fact that these are just held in by magnets, there's kind of two different ways that can go. One is that the magnets are a little bit weaker, and this means that they're not going to damage the tissue in between the magnets, but they can become very easily misaligned and one or both pieces can fall off. If the magnets aren't very strong, and let's say you have like a fake nose ring on, if you just lightly bump your nose or brush your nose, you can totally end up knocking them off and they fall. If they fall, it's not a big deal, but if you happen to do that while you're sneezing or blowing your nose and you inhale and aspirate that magnet into your lungs, that's a bad time. Same goes for the fact that so many folks are wearing these magnetic piercings in their mouth and on their tongue where these can accidentally be swallowed. Now you might hear about this and go, well then why don't we just use stronger magnets? That way you don't have to worry about that. And we tried. We have tried that. And if the magnets are strong enough that even just a light brush or bump isn't going to cause things to fall out, then they're also strong enough to damage the skin that's in between those two magnets. Probably the worst cases that I've seen of this are folks who wear those like fake gauge magnet earrings. I will never forget when I was working in Philly, we had a client come in. He wasn't sure if he wanted to start stretching his ears or not yet, so he went to the mall and got some fake magnetic gauges from like Spencer's or Hot Topic and had been wearing them for about a month and was like, I'm ready to get my ears pierced and stretch them. I know I want them. I've been wearing these. I love them. My colleague at the time took him back and took the fake magnets off and got to tell him, well, congratulations, you actually already have your ear pierced. These magnets have compressed the tissue in your ear so badly that it has been cut off from blood flow and gone necrotic, and you now have like 8 gauge-ish holes in your ears and also need to go to the hospital. And I have seen this happen on earlobes and particularly on septums, but I've just seen these magnets be strong enough to cause at best bruising and at worst serious tissue damage on placements like nostrils and lips and other parts of the body. So if these magnets are too strong, it's just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than if they are weaker. And they can really damage the skin that they're being worn on and potentially leave you with serious scarring. Now, one of the main reasons why I decided to make a video revisiting this is because of the recent trend on TikTok of these magnetic piercings, but particularly people wearing them in their tongue and in their mouth for lip piercings, librettes, philtrums, and other forms of oral piercings. And that makes me so nervous knowing how dangerous magnets are when swallowed and knowing what a choking hazard and what a swallow hazard these types of magnets can be. In fact, this has become such an issue that this magnetic piercing jewelry has been covered in local news articles from the UK. This trend seems to be biggest online in the UK for these magnetic piercing styles, and that's definitely the portion of TikTok where I saw most of it, and it is having some pretty disastrous outcomes for a lot of folks. At least 65 children have been admitted to the hospital for issues concerning swallowing or ingesting magnets in the last 3 years in the UK, and there has been a steep uptick in how many of those were teens who had this issue from wearing magnetic piercings. As Professor Simon Kenny, a pediatric surgeon, says, "There is nothing fun for children or their parents about surgery to remove magnets that have been swallowed and become stuck together through different parts of the intestines, or the long-term physical problems and internal scarring that can be left behind." Further in that article, they go on to mention that these magnetic fake piercings should be classified as toys in the UK. That way they have to meet rigorous standards for safety that include magnets too large to be easily swallowed. And that's really the concerning thing here, is that because this is magnetic body jewelry, it doesn't really fall under a lot of the classification of toys or things marketed specifically towards children that would require stricter safety standards. So a lot of these magnetic piercing styles that you're seeing online and in stores, they're not really going through any safety testing. And not only are they an unsafe design to begin with, that can also mean that they can be made with really unsafe materials. They can be plated and coated with stuff that can be really harmful and damaging to you, or even just leave permanent stains on your skin, like we talked about in my video about silver in piercings. Yes, even these fake clip-on styles and fake magnetic styles can leave the same staining on your skin. So it's really concerning to me not only how many issues we see with this magnetic fake piercing jewelry, but the fact that this is largely unregulated currently, and that means that these are really cheaply and really poorly made the vast majority of the time. I know it's really tempting to want to be able to just try out a piercing, see how it's going to look on you, not have to commit to getting it, especially if your parents won't allow you or you can't with school or work, but I promise you there are better ways to fake the look of having a piercing than using these magnets, which can be so dangerous. If it's something like a septum or a helix or a conch and you want the look of a ring, just use the little slip-on rings that slide right on. If it's something a little bit different, you can always eyelash glue little plain beads or little rhinestones to your face to give the look of a piercing. And there's also plenty of filters that'll let you try out piercings and get a feel for what it would look like on you. And none of these methods include the danger of swallowing or ingesting magnets and having them magnetized together somewhere inside of your body and potentially cause really serious bodily harm. Please, folks, be careful about what you choose to put in and on your body. Make smart decisions, and if you really want to try out a piercing, there are much safer ways to go about it than this magnetic style piercing jewelry. Please stay safe, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I'm sure we'll chat again soon. Bye!